we're going to continue using the lacrosse ball to mobilize our trapezius musculature and some of the muscles on the outside of our trunk. So the first one we want to talk about is the upper trap. So the upper trap is a muscle that attaches from the side of our spine to the top of our shoulder. So a lot of tension between the neck and the shoulder are related. So people that have neck problems usually have shoulder problems, and shoulder problems usually have neck problems. So sometimes we need to treat that area to address both those things. So when we're doing this, what we want to do is we're going to set this up above the shoulder blade. So I'm just going to take the ball, I'm going to put it right there above the shoulder blade, and I'm going to play around with it till I find my tender spot. And right there is a tender spot for me. And then I'm just going to take my arm, keep my elbow straight, and I'm just going to reach my arm up over my head. Right, and that might be a nice release for me doing that motion. Play around with your head position, especially with this one. I might find that if I lean my head to the opposite side, that gets me a little bit better. Or maybe I might even find leaning my head to the same side makes it a little bit better. Or maybe a rotation to one side or the other. So you can play around with that idea, try to keep the elbow straight. You should be able to get your thumb to the floor when you have full flexibility with that. So if we're gonna work down to the middle trap, so think of the area between your shoulder blade and your spine. We just wanna place that ball a little bit lower there. And if you don't have the flexibility to get there, just put the ball down and then kind of roll up to it. And again, roll around, play with it, find the spot where it's bothering you, right? And we can do that same mobilization. If we need to create a little bit more pressure here, what we would try is we do a bridge, so lift your butt up, and that creates a little more pressure. And I can do that same thing again, right? And I want to be between my shoulder blade and my spine in that muscle part right there. Okay? So after I get through my middle traps, I want to work on the lower traps and part of my lats. So I want to reach below my shoulder blade on this part. So I'm going to put that ball right underneath there. And same mobilization might work for me. I might need to roll slightly towards it to get a spot for me. I might find that rotating my arm is a better spot for me. Or I might find that reaching up and turning my palm over and back might be a better spot for me for this one. So this is a bigger muscle, so there's more to play around with. But again, move that ball, find the spot. When you find a tender spot, oh, there it is, right? Then you're gonna start working on that and you should start to loosen up. While we're down here on the ground, we can work on some of the muscles on the outside of our shoulder blade. So if we take that ball and we're kind of in a slightly side-lying position, I'm gonna put the ball right up on the outside of my shoulder blade. And with that arm in front of me, I can work on just rolling it back and forth there. And again, playing around with it. You might even find getting into the armpit might be a sensitive spot for you that you want to work on. Right, so we can do that right there. And then the other one that we already did in standing but works really well in laying down is that posterior part of our deltoid. Right, so we can just kind of put it behind the shoulder and I can work on this rotating back and forth here. Again, if I need more pressure, I just kind of lean my body weight into it and get a little more tension, and that gives me a better release. All right, so there's a couple ways that you can work laying down on your upper trap, your middle trap, the lower trap and lat, the outside edge of your shoulder blade where your external rotator is going to be, and that posterior part of your deltoid. Same idea, keep finding your spots, keep working into different positions, play around with your neck position for sure while you're doing that, and see if you can get yourself a nice release.